From Michael Jordan's $14 million mansion with walls of glass to LeBron James's $37 million Beverly Hills estate with its own courtyard fountain, today we're taking you inside some of the most expensive mansions owned by NBA legends. LeBron James. LeBron James does not do anything small, not on the court, not in business, and certainly not in real estate. In 2020, LeBron purchased a 2.7-acre hillside parcel in Beverly Hills for approximately $37 million. Then he knocked the original structure down completely, because when you are LeBron James, you do not move into someone else's vision, you build your own. What is rising on that hillside today is a custom compound housing two separate mega mansions. The larger stretches 16,000 square feet across 2 full stories, with an additional 7,700 square foot basement designed specifically as an auto gallery for his prized car collection. Picture disappearing Fleetwood glass walls that collapse the boundary between the living space and the canyon views beyond. Book-matched marble slabs, imported French oak flooring, vaulted ceilings with exposed wooden beams, a resort spa with sauna, steam room, and massage suite, a private theater, a chef's kitchen, an infinity pool, and a planned indoor basketball court, because of course there is. The entire compound runs on solar power and is projected to be worth north of $100 million once complete, a family legacy project funded by a career salary of approximately $581 million and a Forbes estimated net worth exceeding $1.3 billion. If LeBron sets the ceiling, the next man on this list built his fortune an entirely different way, and his Florida estate proves it. Michael Jordan. Jordan's NBA career salary of roughly $90 million looks modest by today's standards, but that number is almost irrelevant. Jordan Brand generates hundreds of millions annually even now. His net worth sits between $3.6 and $4.3 billion. His real estate portfolio alone is estimated at around $60 million. The crown jewel sits inside Jack Nicklaus's ultra-exclusive Bears Club gated golf community in Jupiter, Florida. The estate features an athletic wing with a full basketball court, lavish gym, and a media room reportedly engineered specifically for cigar smoke ventilation. Reports place the interior as high as 28,000 square feet, with a 2,000-bottle wine cellar, private theater, and a guard tower standing watch. Mature pine trees form a natural barrier so complete the property essentially disappears from the outside world. Old world elegance defines the interiors: wood-paneled libraries, grand foyers, architectural language that whispers permanence. Then there is the Chicago compound, 7 acres near Lake Michigan, with pools, tennis courts, and a dedicated basketball gym. It sat on the market for over a decade before finally selling, because almost nobody exists at the financial level where a Michael Jordan compound is a reasonable purchase. 6 championships, 5 MVPs, and real estate that matches the legend, though the next man on this list took a different approach entirely, stacking 2 jaw-dropping California properties that together are worth over $80 million. Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry changed basketball. He turned the three-point line from a weapon of last resort into the centerpiece of modern offense. 4 championships, the first unanimous MVP in NBA history, and a career salary approaching $470 million. The Malibu oceanfront estate is the one that stops people. 17 acres of California coastline designed by architect Doug Burge, 12,637 square feet, a separate guest house, and a dedicated wellness center on the grounds. Floor-to-ceiling glass walls frame sweeping Pacific Ocean views from nearly every room. Crisp, neutral palettes, clean, modern lines deliberately designed to let the natural setting dominate. Current estimated value, approximately $50.1 million. But Malibu is essentially the vacation home. The primary residence sits in Atherton, the most expensive zip code in the entire United States. Over 10,000 square feet, 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a private cinema, resort-style pool, wine cellar, and entertaining spaces large enough to host the entire Warriors organization. Curry's real estate mirrors him as a player. Nothing flashy for its own sake, just extraordinary quality executed with precision in the best locations on earth. Understated sophistication until you see the price tag. From California cool to Bel Air grandeur, the next property belongs to a man whose daily job is being physically unstoppable, and his mansion makes sure you never forget it. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis spent his career being one of the most physically imposing human beings to ever set foot on a basketball court. 7 feet of wingspan, elite shot blocking, and apparently very specific taste in real estate. The Bel Air Crest Mansion is a trophy estate by any measure. 17,254 square feet of Tuscan Mediterranean architecture on 3.5 acres, purchased for approximately $32 million and later listed at $39.9 million. The entry announces everything: a 35-foot glass dome crowning the foyer, flooding light onto a floating staircase that appears to ascend without visible support, 8 bedrooms, up to 12 bathrooms, soaring ceilings throughout. Outside, a 120-foot infinity pool stretches toward the canyon skyline. Inside, a pro-grade indoor basketball court with professional flooring sits beside a marble chef's kitchen, home theater, game lounge with wet bar, wine cellar, and a wellness suite complete with massage room, hair salon, cold plunge, and sauna. There is even a batting cage and a tennis court on the grounds. On a career salary of approximately $364 million, this estate is a fitting monument to what elite NBA talent builds over time. The next entry belongs to a man who can no longer walk through his front door, but whose Italian-inspired California estate remains one of the most breathtaking on this entire list. Kobe Bryant. Some properties carry weight beyond their square footage. Kobe Bryant's Newport Coast estate is one of them. The Italian-inspired coastal villa sits overlooking the Pacific Ocean, valued at over $30 million, a property that reflected the man who owned it in every detail. Sweeping terraces, refined marble and wood finishes running through every interior surface, breathtaking coastal views framed by carefully designed architecture that felt timeless rather than trendy. Kobe was famous for his obsessive attention to detail, the Mamba mentality applied to every corner of life. The Newport Coast home mirrored that philosophy precisely. Nothing was accidental. Nothing was careless. The family suites were designed around privacy and closeness. The outdoor retreats built for the kind of quiet reflection that a man who studied the game as deeply as Kobe did would require. In 20 seasons with the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe earned approximately $323 million in salary, making him one of the highest-paid players of his era. 5 championships, 2 finals MVPs, 1 regular season MVP, and a legacy that continues to generate enormous economic value for his estate through posthumous Nike deals and ongoing business arrangements. The Newport Coast Villa is now part of that legacy, a monument to meticulous elegance, permanently woven into the story of one of basketball's most iconic figures. From quiet Italian elegance, we move to something dramatically different. A man who built a 31,000 square foot kingdom that is every bit as loud and larger than life as the man himself. Shaquille O'Neal. There is no subtlety here. There never was. Shaquille O'Neal's Orlando estate is not a house. It is a kingdom. 31,000 square feet of pure, unapologetic personality sitting on manicured Florida grounds, originally listed between $19.5 and $28 million. The centerpiece of the interior is the Shaq Center, a 6,000 square foot indoor basketball court personalized with Superman themes and custom logos. Because when you are Shaq, you do not settle for a standard hardwood floor. 12 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, a mirrored 17-car showroom for his vehicle collection, a custom theater, a wine cellar, a cigar room, a recording studio, and nightclub elements built directly into the home's design.
Your house is really big, though. This is from Google Earth. How many square feet is that?
My house is 76,000 square feet.
How much of that do you use?
Only 2 rooms. The kitchen, because I like to eat, and the bedroom, because I like to sleep.
And how many bathrooms do you have?
I think 15.
Outside, the Shacapulco pool stretches 95 feet, designed as a full lagoon with waterfalls, rock formations, grotto systems, tiki elements, and depths reaching 15 feet. There is also an aquarium room with hieroglyphic detailing on the walls, towering ceilings, custom millwork throughout, marble foyers that announce the scale before you even reach the living spaces. On a career salary of approximately $286 to $292 million, plus massive endorsement income, Shaq built a home that only Shaq could have built. It has since been sold, but its legend endures. From Shaq's theatrical scale, we slide south to Miami, where another Heat legend built something equally stunning, just considerably more refined. Dwyane Wade. Dwyane Wade earned his first championship in 2006 as Finals MVP, and he did it by being more explosive, more competitive, and more clutch than anyone else on the floor. That same instinct for excellence defines both of his primary properties, valued together in the $18 to $20 million range. The centerpiece is a 22,000 square foot Mediterranean masterpiece, Walk through the front entry, and the rotunda greets you first, a dramatic curved foyer rising overhead before a sweeping spiral staircase pulls your eye upward. Zero-edge infinity pool, home theater, wine tasting room, fitness spa with dedicated sauna, ocean or canyon views depending on the property. Every design decision here communicates sophistication, the kind of home that looks effortless until you realize how precisely every element was chosen. The interiors balance sleek modern finishes against classic Mediterranean structure, creating spaces that feel equally appropriate for a quiet evening or a full-scale entertainment event. Wade's career salary across primarily his Miami Heat tenure, roughly $200 million, combined with endorsement income and post-career media ventures, built a net worth estimated between $100 and $150 million. 13 All-Star selections, 3 championships, a scoring title, and 2 properties that wear his personality as naturally as he wore number 3. The next man on this list made his Malibu home a study in minimalism, but do not let the clean lines fool you. The price tag is anything but simple. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of the most efficient scorers the sport has ever produced, a 7-foot forward who moves with the fluidity of a guard and shoots with the precision of a surgeon. His career salary of approximately $501 million makes him second on the all-time earnings list, and his Malibu property reflects a man who lets quality do the speaking. The coastal home sits somewhere in the $12 to $15 million range, modest by this list's standards, but spectacular in execution. Sleek modern architecture frames direct oceanfront views, with a hot tub positioned to look straight out over the water. Minimalist interiors with high-end finishes run throughout, the design language stripping away anything unnecessary to let the materials and the views carry the experience. Privacy defines the property. Durant has always been a man who guards his personal space carefully, and this Malibu home reflects that instinct in every design choice. Clean lines, quiet luxury, nothing gratuitous. Just an exceptional property in one of the most coveted stretches of California coastline, owned by one of the most decorated scorers in NBA history. 2 championships with Golden State, 2 finals MVPs, 4 scoring titles, a net worth approaching $400 million, and a Malibu retreat that says everything it needs to say without raising its voice. From Durant's quiet Malibu coastline, we move to a Mediterranean fortress in Los Angeles, owned by a man who has spent his entire career being the smartest player in every building he has ever entered. Chris Paul. Chris Paul has never relied on athleticism alone. The point guard has built his entire legacy on vision, precision, and a competitive intelligence that borders on unsettling. His Los Angeles mansion, valued at over $24 million, operates on those same principles. The Mediterranean villa runs across 18,000 or more square feet with 9 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms. The entry makes the first statement, a 2-story foyer anchored by a Y-shaped staircase that splits and climbs in 2 directions simultaneously, a structural choice that is as theatrical as it is functional. Beyond it, a grand great room opens into formal dining, then flows into a double-island gourmet kitchen that would satisfy any professional chef. There is a dedicated home theater, a lounge, an indoor basketball court, and a climate-controlled garage housing Paul's vehicle collection. The outdoor entertaining areas feature expansive marble terraces, luxury landscaping, a gym, and a sauna, spaces designed for the kind of gracious hosting that has always been part of Paul's public identity as a leader and community figure. On a career salary of approximately $404 million, ranking him among the top earners in league history, this property is a precise, considered expression of who Chris Paul is. From Paul's refined LA estate, we head to the suburbs of Atlanta, where the next player built something so enormous it barely qualifies as a house at all. Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard arrived in the NBA as pure supernatural force, the Superman of Orlando, a physical specimen so dominant he collected 3 consecutive Defensive Player of the Year awards. His Atlanta estate channels that same overwhelming scale in every direction. 32 to 33,000 square feet, 15 acres of grounds, built for approximately $40 million, later listed between $11.25 and $12.5 million. 10 or more bedrooms, 21 bathrooms, 6 separate gourmet kitchens, each equipped with Sub-Zero and Viking appliances, a private elevator, an indoor basketball court, a theater, a dedicated gym, a 10-plus car garage, a full guest house on the grounds.
Okay, and flipping the camera around, so this is what you see when you walk out the front door. Just look at the house from this angle. This house just goes on forever. Headed inside, lots of NBA memorabilia around this house.
The outdoor pool is a resort unto itself, heated saltwater with a retractable cover, surrounded by landscaping designed for both privacy and visual drama. High ceilings and custom millwork run throughout the European-style interiors, creating grand-scale rooms that feel proportional only because everything around them is equally massive. And then, there is the detail that no one forgets, a custom-built snake room designed specifically to house Howard's personal reptile collection. It is the kind of amenity that appears on exactly one property on this entire list, and it tells you everything about the personality behind the purchase. From Howard's eccentric Georgia compound, we move west to a Brentwood architectural gem that is every bit as dramatic, just considerably more fashion-forward. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook plays basketball the way a thunderstorm moves, relentless, unpredictable, and impossible to ignore. His Brentwood mansion, purchased for approximately $33.5 million, carries that same electric energy through every room. 13,500 square feet of modern traditional architecture, anchored by massive glass walls that flood the interior with natural light. A double-height entry sets the tone immediately. Soaring ceilings, dramatic proportions, and the sense that every inch of this property was designed to make an impression. Marble slab kitchens, vaulted wood ceilings in the oversized master suite, which includes spa-caliber bathrooms and boutique-style closets that rival luxury retail stores, a temperature-controlled wine room, a private movie theater, a dedicated gym, and a poolside entertainment zone complete with an outdoor BBQ setup, al fresco dining areas, and multiple fireplaces for California evenings. Westbrook is as famous for his fashion sensibility as for his basketball, a former MVP who turned triple-doubles into a personal calling card, and his home reflects both sides of that identity. The material choices, wood, marble, glass, and deliberate combination, speak to someone with a developed aesthetic vocabulary, not someone who simply handed a blank check to a designer. On a career salary of approximately $300 to $350 million, Westbrook built a home as bold and distinctive as the man himself. From Westbrook's modern Brentwood statement, we travel back in time to a Bel Air estate built by a man who essentially invented the position of point guard as we know it today. Magic Johnson. Earvin Magic Johnson won 5 championships, 3 MVPs, and 3 finals MVPs with the Showtime Lakers, and then, after retiring at 32 due to his HIV diagnosis, proceeded to build one of the most impressive business empires in the history of professional sports. His net worth is historically estimated at $600 to $700 million or more, funded by a career salary of only $40 to $50 million. The money came from afterward. His Bel Air estate reflects that legacy in the most personal possible way. Over 10,000 square feet of custom-built historic property, valued between $11.5 and $14.5 million. The entry opens into marble foyers lit by crystal chandeliers. Moroccan and Spanish-inspired finishes run through the interior surfaces. A locker room and gym sit ready for use whenever the competitive urge strikes. And then there is the court. The indoor basketball court is not simply a hardwood floor with painted lines. It is lined with the autographs of NBA legends, players who visited over the decades and left their signatures permanently on the surface beneath their feet. It is part court, part museum, and the media room overlooking it gives you a front row seat to that entire history. The outdoor pool looks out over the Santa Monica Mountains. This is Magic's retreat, a monument to basketball heritage and the empire he built long after the final whistle. From Magic's legacy court, we head south to the water, where one of the Heat's big three built something equally iconic in a very different key. Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was the quiet architect of the Miami Heat dynasty, the all-star big man whose willingness to sacrifice individual statistics made 2 championships possible. His Miami Beach waterfront estate, valued at approximately $12.3 million, makes a statement in the opposite direction. No noise, no excess, just pure coastal opulence executed with surgical precision. 12,000 square feet, entirely white. The design choice is deliberate and confident, an all-white exterior and interior palette that lets the waterfront setting and the quality of materials carry every room. An infinity pool extends to the water's edge. A private elevator runs between floors. A gourmet kitchen sits at the center of the entertaining spaces, surrounded by sleek modern finishes that define the South Florida luxury aesthetic at its most refined. This is not a home that shouts, it whispers, and every whisper is expensive. Bosh's career salary across his time with the Toronto Raptors and Miami Heat reached approximately $160 to $180 million. 2 championships, 11 all-star selections, and a post-career journey that required extraordinary resilience after blood clot complications forced his retirement in 2016. The Miami Beach estate is a fitting expression of a man who did everything with class, from his role on championship rosters to the architectural choices on Biscayne Bay. From South Florida's clean coastal lines, we head north and inland to a Texas estate that reflects a very different kind of European elegance. Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki spent 21 seasons with the Dallas Mavericks, every single one of them. He arrived as a skinny teenager from Würzburg, Germany, and left as a Hall of Famer, a champion, and one of the most technically brilliant players the sport has ever produced. His career salary exceeded $250 million. His net worth sits somewhere between $100 and $150 million. His Dallas home, valued at approximately $7.9 million, is the most understated property on this list, and somehow that feels exactly right. Colonial-style architecture sits on expansive grounds near Mark Cuban's estate, a neighborhood address that alone signals elite standing in Dallas real estate. 9,215 square feet of refined interiors, a tennis court, a swimming pool, a private pond on the grounds, carefully landscaped surroundings that prioritize quiet elegance over spectacle. Where other players on this list competed for most dramatic, most extravagant, or most square footage, Dirk chose something different. He chose permanence. A family home in the city where he gave everything he had. No guard towers, no nightclubs, no lagoon pools, just a beautiful, considered Texas estate, worthy of the man who refused to chase bigger markets or bigger contracts his entire career. The loyalty that kept Dirk in Dallas for 2 decades also shaped the home he chose to build there. From Dirk's quiet Texas elegance, we move even further south to the River Oaks enclave of Houston, where a true basketball pioneer built an empire both on and off the hardwood. Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon may be the most technically gifted center who ever played the game. The footwork, the dream shake, the combination of offensive creativity and defensive dominance that produced 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, 1 regular season MVP, and 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He arrived from Lagos, Nigeria, was drafted first overall by the Houston Rockets in 1984, and proceeded to become one of the city's most beloved figures on the court and in the real estate market. Olajuwon became famous during his playing days for his shrewd real estate investments, buying and developing properties across Houston long before athlete entrepreneurship was fashionable. His River Oaks portfolio of key properties is estimated to have contributed over $23 million in value. River Oaks is Houston's most prestigious enclave, the kind of address where the neighbors include oil executives and Fortune 500 families. Olajuwon's estates reflect grand scale, custom finishes, and the deep privacy that elite real estate in that corridor provides. His career salary across his time with the Rockets and a brief stint with the Toronto Raptors reached approximately $100 to $120 million, but his property wealth was built through discipline and investment instinct that went far beyond his playing contract. The dream built his Houston legacy twice, once on the court and once in the real estate market that outlasted his basketball career entirely. From Houston's elite enclaves, we head north to the Manhattan skyline, where the next legend chose altitude over acreage. Deron Williams. Not every NBA legend chose sprawling acreage and California sunshine. Deron Williams, one of the most gifted point guards of his generation, opted for something dramatically different. A Manhattan penthouse valued at approximately $15.8 million that trades horizontal space for pure vertical drama. 6 bedrooms, bespoke modern finishes running throughout the interior, and a 3,000 square foot private terrace that does something no California estate on this list can replicate. It puts the entire Manhattan skyline at your feet. The terrace itself is extraordinary, a lily pond and a bridge built directly into the outdoor space, creating a private garden sanctuary suspended high above one of the most densely populated cities on Earth. Floor-to-ceiling glass wraps the living spaces, ensuring that the skyline view is present from virtually every room. The design language is pure urban luxury, the kind of property that only exists in New York and only makes sense in New York. Williams's career salary across his time with the Utah Jazz, Brooklyn Nets, Dallas Mavericks, and other teams reached approximately $150 to $170 million. Multiple all-star selections, a career that at its peak put him in legitimate conversations about the best point guards alive. He chose Manhattan over mansions, and in doing so, built one of the most distinctive properties on this entire list. From Williams' New York altitude, we return to California, where one of the most quietly devastating two-way players of his generation built a modern estate to match. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is famously private. In a league full of personalities who court attention, he has spent his entire career methodically building one of the most decorated resumes in the sport while saying as little as possible. 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, career salary approaching approximately $378 million, and a Pacific Palisades estate valued between $17 and $22 million or more. 11,815 square feet of California contemporary architecture, clean, high-end, and designed without a single unnecessary element. A private theater, a dedicated gym, a wine room, an infinity pool positioned to capture dramatic drop-off views from the Pacific Palisades hillside. Everything here is precise. Nothing announces itself. The property mirrors its owner perfectly. Exceptional quality in every detail. Zero performative excess. The kind of home that takes time to fully appreciate because it never rushes you toward a reaction. The Claw plays basketball the same way, systematically dismantling opponents without ceremony or self-promotion, collecting championships along the way, and returning home to a property that asks for nothing but delivers everything. From Kawhi's modern California restraint, we step even further back in time to a Bel Air property that carries the weight of basketball mythology in its very walls. Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a single NBA game in 1962. He averaged 50 points per game across an entire season. He pulled down 55 rebounds in a single game. He set statistical records so extreme that they remain untouched over 60 years later, and some of them almost certainly always will be. His Bel Air estate, known as Ursa Major, is a piece of basketball mythology made physical. Built in the 1970s on prime Los Angeles hillside land, the property has changed hands in recent years in the $9 to $10 million range, but its historical value goes far beyond any listing price. The architecture carries the bold, distinctive flair of its era and its builder, a man who never once fit inside conventional expectations. Prime Bel Air land, legendary scale, a structure that reflects both the Hollywood prestige of its address and the singular personality of the man who commissioned it. Chamberlain's career salary totaled only $1 to $2 million across his playing years, a reflection of how dramatically different the economic structure of professional basketball was before the modern era's television deals and salary cap explosions. 2 championships, 4 MVPs, and a home that has outlasted the league he played in as one of its most recognizable landmarks. From basketball's most legendary statistical performer, we travel to Boston and then to Naples, Florida, where the Celtics' defining star built something quiet and worthy of his legacy. Larry Bird. Larry Bird does not need to perform for anyone. 3 championships, 3 consecutive MVPs, a basketball IQ so advanced that his rivals openly admit he was the most mentally challenging opponent they ever faced. He played 12 seasons with the Boston Celtics and then spent the rest of his career in Indiana, in boardrooms, on golf courses, largely on his own terms. His Naples, Florida waterfront home, listed at approximately $4.8 million or more, is the least flashy property on this list by a significant margin, and it feels entirely intentional. A serene Gulf Coast retreat with refined finishes, private docks, and views across the water that reward patience and stillness. No indoor basketball court, no lagoon pool with waterfalls, no 17-car showroom. Just beautifully constructed waterfront luxury in one of Florida's most desirable coastal cities, designed for the kind of quiet that Bird earned through a career of extraordinary noise. His career salary of approximately $20 to $30 million reflects the pre-modern era he played in, but post-career investments and executive roles, including president of basketball operations for the Indiana Pacers, have built a net worth estimated between $50 and $80 million. This is retirement, done with the same discipline and precision Bird brought to every game he ever played. From Bird's understated Gulf Coast serenity, we close this list with the most purely entertaining property of all, a 53-acre Texas paradise that includes its own private water park. Tony Parker. Tony Parker won 4 NBA championships with the San Antonio Spurs. He was the Finals MVP in 2007. He spent nearly 2 decades playing alongside Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili in one of the greatest dynasties in professional sports history. And when it came time to build his personal retreat, he did not build a home, he built a destination. The Bourne, Texas estate stretches across 53 acres of Texas Hill Country, valued between $11 and $16.5 million. The Mediterranean main house sits at the center of the compound, surrounded by an indoor basketball court, a 6,000 square foot dedicated gym, a 1,500 bottle wine room, and a full private theater. But none of that is the headline. The headline is the water park, a custom-designed private aquatic complex built to Six Flags standards, constructed over 59,000 or more man-hours of craftsmanship, 8 pools, multiple water slides, a lazy river, waterfalls, grottos, tennis and volleyball courts sit alongside the water features. Orchards grow on the property. There is even a tortoise enclosure among the grounds. Parker's career salary across primarily his Spurs tenure reached approximately $150 to $170 million. His European endorsement portfolio and business ventures have added significantly to that foundation. 20 entries, 20 kingdoms. From LeBron's Beverly Hills legacy compound to Parker's Texas water park empire, every one of them a monument to what basketball greatness can build, brick by extraordinary brick. Found this information exciting? Be sure to check out other similar and amazing videos on the screen. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.